Hi, I'm Sheli Fulcher Koontz. I'm one of the founding members of the law firm of Hansen St, and today I want to talk to you about communication, particularly communication when you are involved in a family law case. One of the biggest issues in family law are parents that aren't communicating well, aren't able to communicate at all, or communicating in ways that just causes stress, strife, and grief for everybody, themselves and the kids. When I have family law clients, I talk to them a lot about trying to just make little tweaks to their language to create more workability with the other parent. One of the ways you can do that is eliminate I and you. If the child, let's say little Johnny, spends part of the time with one parent, part of the time with the other, and his grades are suffering, I tell parents, you don't want to say, Johnny's grades are not good, what are you doing about that? You and the other parent made little Johnny possible. So anything involving little Johnny is always a we problem. So instead of you did this or this isn't happening at your house, it's Johnny's grades aren't very good. What are we going to do about this? Framing conversations about children with a we, because you two are always going to be these children's parents, tends to create more workability. You cannot control the other parent. A lot of people get really wrapped around the axle about, well, they won't do this and they won't do that. You're right, they won't, but you can control you and how you communicate. So just making little tiny tweaks to your language and not using you and I so much, because that tends to be accusatory, and using we. We have this issue. How do we want to solve this together? You know, what do you suggest for us to solve this problem? Tends to be more helpful. I see a lot of parents having far more success because by using the we language, the other parent has some say and buy-in. You're not telling that parent what they should or shouldn't do. Most people got divorced because they didn't like somebody controlling what they said and what they did. And so to carry that over into trying to co-parent your children doesn't help. So just making little language tweaks. If you and your ex-spouse or the parent of your child can't communicate at all, there are really good parenting apps. Really good parenting apps that you can use. It keeps schedules. You can deal with medical expenses and expenses for the child that way. You can have a calendar, and they have communication tools. One of those is Our Family Wizard. Another one is called App Close, but all of those can be really helpful for parents that really have a very difficult time communicating. And a lot of courts order those, but they are very, very useful. The other thing with communicating is sometimes verbal communication isn't the best route to go. A lot of times in family law, you're creating a record. So in case something comes up in the future and you need to modify a custody schedule or child support, having a written record of communications can make that a lot easier for you in the future. And what I tell clients all the time is anything you put in writing, potentially a judge is reading over your shoulder. Writing that somebody's a dirty, rotten so-and-so and hitting send sometimes can really come back to bite you. So when you're communicating in writing with another parent, taking the investigative reporter approach oftentimes is a really good route. You're just stating facts, not that somebody's awful or mean or wrong. You're stating facts because you're trying to reach a solution or communicate a message. That way, if that communication ever had to be used as an exhibit in a court case coming down the road, it's a clean exhibit. Family law is one of the only areas of law that you get to create your own evidence, and you can create really good evidence or you can create really bad evidence. So if you're going to create it, make it good. The judge is reading it over your shoulder as you type that email. You might be mad as mad, so maybe you type the email but you never hit that send button. Okay, so communication. The other thing too, your children, they're watching how you communicate with that other parent, and they're going to pick up and copy what you do because they will think that's a normal way to communicate with somebody else. So what type of communication do you want your kids to emulate and repeat? If you've got a really difficult relationship with the parent of your child, do you want your child having to endure that too when they're an adult? Probably not. So set the example. It may not feel fair, and that's okay. You're doing this for the betterment of your kids. You're doing it to keep you on the high road in case things end up back in court. You make it very easy for a judge to give you what you want if there's really nothing anyone can point at you as bad behavior. Okay? So take time to just develop those little habits. Change you and I to we. Make sure your verbal communication is something you'd be okay with a judge reading, and just know your little kids, they're watching. All right, so be the example you want them to have.